Well, folks, I must say, welcome back to the West. Horizon and American Saga, a review. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Midnight. Midnight. I did not mean to say that. Let me start that again. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Midnight coming to you live from the Midnight Cinema. And today, what do I have for you? I have a special review for you. Horizon and American Saga is now in theaters everywhere. Chapter 1 is out, and then you will have Chapter 2 coming out in August. I believe August 16th. It's going to be awesome. I know a lot of critics have been saying this movie's gotten some mixed reviews. Let's start there. The movie has gotten some mixed reviews, and I'm gonna just jump right into it. Did I enjoy this movie? I enjoyed the movie from start to finish. I did, truly. And see, and it's not even just because I am a fan of the Western. I think it's also like in a review I saw how one critic described Top Gun Maverick as the dad movie of cinema, and how Horizon is essentially the granddad of cinema in a way, like just kind of what is harkening back to those olden times. Like it goes into it's inspired by films like Rio Bravo or Red River, and you've got The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Just kind of focus on that American West expansion. I love The Searchers. It's another one. I would even say just the old John Hurt movies. So it's really, really interesting, to say the least. I like the way it's set up, truly, because it gives you three different stories that you're following, and they're all supposed to collide at some point in time. Now, you've got one story that focuses on Kevin Costner, who you really don't see until maybe about 50 minutes into the movie, which I thought was an interesting choice. I was like, really? Huh? So you really don't see him for a minute. Like, it's like, well, where's Kevin Costner? You don't see it. He's behind the camera for at least the first 50 minutes, and then, obviously time is split throughout the movie. And he's a horse trader, and he gets caught up in some hijinks with this one girl who is essentially a prostitute. And how that ties into this other story of this family gang that is going after the girl that she was living with, and how she was hiding out amongst him and with her son, and how they wanted to get the son back. Then you have another story that deals with the U.S. Army having to get involved with this attack that the Apache natives had on this town, okay, and how they just wrecked everything. But throughout the movie, you see these posters of this town called Horizon, this paradise, this beautiful settlement that people are wanting to go to and visit and see and live in, and pretty much just start a new life. I'm currently reading a book called Dreams of El Dorado by H.W. Burns. Now, I'm sorry, H.W. Brand, forgive me, not Burns. And it's basically talking about the American West history. Now, maybe Kevin read the book. I have no idea. No idea whatsoever. I'm not finished yet, but it's giving you that history that you need to know about the American West. And what they dove into is, well, I know later on in time they're going to talk about, HW is going to talk about the treaties and how they were violated. And I know that there was one that prevented, that was set in stone for I forget which tribe it was, but basically they had land rights. Then all of a sudden, there was an attack on them. They retaliated, and the soldiers at the time, they were like, you know what? I forgot who was president at the time. This was before Lincoln was in office. But basically, there was retaliation back from the government, right? And this is what it is. This is what it's about. It's about them defending their land. Now, in the movie, there's a quote that says that sharing the land and defending the land can be a very, very beautiful thing at the same time. And the Apache will fiercely defend their land of anybody that they are skeptical of, because of the run-ins that they've had with the past, depending on the settlers. Now, can you blame them for the attacks that they have? Not really. Should it be as brutal and savage? I don't know. I mean, it's giving you that moral It's that gray area where you're trying to understand, like, are they right? Are they wrong? But showing you both sides of it, essentially. And also showing you the sides where the settlers do retaliate and where they do live in peace and where they're not trying to go at these natives in a very violent manner at all. But you have those who do, and it just kind of ruins it for everyone. So it tarnishes everything. So like I said, you have these three different stories that are going on all at once. But they will collide at some point. And I think in chapter 2, that's going to get expanded on even more. This was just the setup. So some people may say, well, this movie was way too long and it was boring, but it's like the visuals alone capture you. Like they definitely have you fully invested. The acting is very well done. I love the directing. Kevin's great. Sienna Miller's awesome. Abby Lee, Luke Wilson, Sam Worthington, Danny Huston. I forget the guy who plays the villain, who plays one of the Sykes brothers in the movie. He is so good. he is really, really good, man. And I love. And this was the first time actually I lied. I was about to say this was the first time I saw a Western on screen. That's a lie. Like on a big screen in the theater. That's a lie. It was actually Hostiles was the first one that I saw on the big screen in the theater. So this was cool to see because of the epic scale of it all. How you're immersed in this Montana environment, you're immersed in the Wyoming territory, and just seeing how the camera moves and it's showing you these giant landscapes and the wide shots where you have your subjects moving in the frame. It's so gorgeous. One of my favorite shots in the movie, and it reminded me of Nope at the moment because I was wondering how they got the lighting set up for this scene because it's crazy. It's at night when this attack happens on the town. And one boy's escaping while he's being chased by a couple of the Apache natives. Now, it's dark and it's cloudy, but the way their silhouettes look, I almost cried just looking at that. It's brilliant. I loved every second of that. I thought that was my favorite shot in the whole movie. Then there's another one where you get a giant wide shot of all the mountains and the buttes, right? And then all of your subjects at the bottom of the screen. And I'm telling you, I got to see this in IMAX. I swear to goodness. This is a movie you have to watch twice. Truly. I'm not going to lie to you. But it's just the way that they have it set up. And then they just come into frame, galloping off into the distance. It just does something to the loins, mate. It truly does. It's absolutely spectacular. It's phenomenal. It is incredible. It is just divine, if you will. Yes. Cinema. Gotta love it. So yeah, man. I enjoyed a lot of this movie. At points, will you feel the runtime? Yes, at points. But if you're truly invested, because I was looking over at some people. Now I sat at the far end, walked in with my Chick-fil-A and everything. I wasn't joking around. I had to bring my Chick-fil-A in there. I saw this older couple. They're sitting on all the way on the far side. And I looked over at them a few times throughout the movie, and they were locked in. Mind you, I was locked in too. But I was just like, let me just see if anybody else, because it's a small theater. Not many people really traverse. It's not a big chain. Okay, so obviously they're not getting a whole bunch of traffic. But for what we had, what was what we got. So I see the older couple. I'm looking at them like they are locked in, and I was loving every second of it. Loving every second. The fact that every time I looked at them, I'm like, oh, they locked in. I'm locked in too. So again, there's a lot of story to cover. And again, because there are going to be there's 3 more after this one. And Kevin was saying that he wrote it a long time ago. He just couldn't stop writing it, so he ended up making 4. Why not? And what I love about it is because it's set in the year 1859, and this is right before the Civil War blows up, and they talk about it for a split second in the movie too. Again, like I said, this is something you have to watch twice to be able to fully take in everything. Because the first time you watch it, it's like you really invested in the visuals and story and the music. Oh, the score, John Debney. I must talk about that. The score by John Debney was phenomenal. I thought it was going to be by Brian Tyler because he worked with Kevin Costner a lot with Yellowstone. But I have to think maybe Brian Tyler has more ties to Taylor Sheridan as opposed to Kevin, so that might be it. I don't know. But the score, nonetheless, fantastic. Loved it. I think it's a score that should be Oscar nominated. I think the cinematography could be Oscar nominated. I don't see any Oscar nominations coming out as far as acting is concerned at this point, maybe directing for Kevin, but that might be when part 2 comes out. I think when part 2 comes out, you'll start to see that scale build up with the acting and the directing, and they might be able to garner more awards just off of that. So I think with SAG, I was telling some friends, I think with SAG and BAFTA, this might be nominated for Best Ensemble. I still think Dune will win, but I think that this is going to be this is definitely going to be on the nomination list for sure, bar none. Absolutely. Like I said, across the board, everyone was great. I love that they talked about the Native American culture. I'm glad that they showed that, see, because people don't realize that Black settlers at that time were also a key thing as well. So you had a few of us in there sprinkled in between as well that went as far west as we did. And that's a whole other video that I might even make. I don't know, but just to explain that to y'all, because a lot of people don't really know the history of Black folks in the West and how we were outdoorsmen and pioneers and the things that we were able to do too. That's not talked about as much. But that's the thing. We also played a role in settling the West. So again, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I truly did. All 3 hours and 15 minutes of it. Yes, sir, I did. Just like I sat through Oppenheimer, I sat through this, I sat through Endgame. I love it. 2005, you had King Kong's, Peter Jackson's King Kong. I was about to say King Kong's Peter Jackson, but Peter Jackson's King Kong. 3 hours and 8 minutes. Enjoyed that. So, you know, you had the Green Mile, the 8 Mile. Oh my gosh, I gotta stop. Anyways, Green Mile was 3 hours, 180 minutes flat. So, you know, like I said, I love this. I enjoyed it. I would give it a 4 out of 5 personally. Again, something else you have to go and see again. Only I can't give it a full 5 is because at some points, yeah, you do kind of feel the runtime a little bit. And if you're not careful, you might, you know, if you kind of blink, you might miss one. You might miss something. But again, that's just me being fair. I think it's very close to being perfect. So which is why I'm hoping that with part 2, it just builds up and builds up and builds up even more. And the action sequences were phenomenal. The gunfights were great. The sound is insane. Again, I think that if I was in an AMC theater, it would be even more immersive. But we'll see whenever I get a chance to head back home. We'll find that out. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review of mine for Horizon, an American Saga. I really, really, really believe that. Oh, and it's really funny at points too. That's the other thing. There's definitely sparks of humor. One critic was talking about how, you know, just things are all over the place. I'm like, bro, it has to be a flow. You have to have your serious. You have to have your funny. You got to keep your audience engaged and involved pacing-wise. You know, you can have the quiet moments, you can have the big loud moments, you can have the gunfights, you can have the dramatic conversations, you can have the hard talks, you can have the jokes, you can have all of that. So, and really what it's telling you, this whole story is about the expansion of the West and how these were territories that were unexplored at this point in time. At that point, I believe we had already made the Louisiana Purchase, but it's everything else that came with that, you know. So we had Louisiana, but we didn't go as far west. You know what I mean? That was all like undiscovered country, Shakespeare. So, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Like I said, I'm concluding here. Give me a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Check out my short film, I Just Care, on Top Hat Films. I'll leave the link down in the description below. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Remember, one pack, one nation, one smooth howl. I'm out of here, guys. Y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Y'all gonna check me out at these here socials. I'll see you all in the next one. And by the way, make sure that you stay tuned for all types of content that I got going on at this here channel. Remember, one pack, one nation, one smooth hell.